Hello and welcome to Scott's Garage. We have kind of a different thing we're going to work on today, sort of linking to Scott's adventures. And if you saw our recent trip to Mammoth, you may recognize my snowboard here. Had a great time with that, and it was really cool. And we've been snowboarding, skiing a few times over the last couple of years, and several times, and I haven't really done any maintenance on this. I could take it in to a place and pay somebody to do it, but I think I might do it on my own. So let's get started and see if we can get this thing all tuned up and ready for another snowboard ski trip. So I have a couple of things here that I bought, of course, on Amazon. They weren't very expensive. I'll put links to uh, them here. The first one is some rub-on wax. This is no iron. You don't have to heat it. You just rub it on. I guess it's kind of like how you'd use a surfboard. Similar. Haven't waxed the board in quite a while, and I don't even know if there's any wax left on it. Probably not. And then, if you saw in the previous video we went to Mammoth, I had a bit of a problem. I broke one of the straps on here. And so I went and I bought a whole bunch of these straps on Amazon. I'll put that link up here. They weren't very expensive. My thinking is that if one of these is ready, if one of these broke, probably the rest of them are ready to go. So, and you have the one with this, which doesn't get too much of a workout, that has the main part of this on, but it's this one that really gets workout. So I thought, why don't I go ahead and just replace maybe this one, and then if anything else breaks, then I can replace it at that time. So it looks like this is pretty much the same thing, and I think it works pretty good. And so let's do all of those things right now. So before we get started on actually working on the snowboard, just tell you a little bit about it. This wasn't a very expensive snowboard. I bought it probably 5 years ago or something on sale. It came with a whole kit of the bindings and the boots, which are not very warm. My feet get cold, and a carrying case. I think the whole thing was like $250. But you know, we ski once or twice a year. I really don't need the best equipment. And what I realized is that this board is great if you're just cruising like an old dude. I just cruise along, fine. If you try to push it and go fast, it doesn't work very good. But it works great if you're just cruising along, taking it easy. Obviously, I'm goofy foot, so my right foot is buckled in all the time. The left foot is my back foot, and this is the one that you unhook and you push off and make your way up and down the ski lift and all that. And because I have a bad left knee, had some surgery on that many decades ago, and just want to kind of keep that, because when you're on the ski lift, you don't have this foot in, you have this foot still buckled in, so the entire weight of the snowboard is dangling off your leg. I don't want it off my bad knee or my bad leg. I have it off the right leg, which seems to work out fine. The problem that I had with this board was getting off the ski lift. And you know, you have only one foot in and it's dangling when you're riding on the ski lift and you're coming up to the get off point. And it's nice when the get off point is kind of gradual and you just sort of go along, because when you get off on the snowboard with only one foot in, you really don't have much ability to turn or anything. You just sort of like go straight and you just kind of glide to a stop, and you can kind of drag your foot to slow down a little bit. But it's really difficult to control, and it's really easy, especially if you have a really steep get off where you're going down here and somebody goes in front of you and you want to try to avoid them, which you can't do, and you're going to fall down. And so at my age, almost 60, 50, be 59 this year, it hurts when I fall. When I fall over, it hurts, even if I'm just getting off the lift and I just fall over or something, or I get all tangled up with people. If you have a lift with 6 people on it and everybody's piling on, you know, it can be bad. So it's good if I can get off the lift in a organized fashion without falling. The key to that is this guy right here, which I didn't have this when I first bought it. So when you're getting off the lift, this foot is locked in. This foot's dangling along, doing nothing. And what you want to try to do, somebody told me, is that if you put your foot in and rest it against this one, you can kind of get a little bit of control if you rest it against this. So I tried to do that. But this is really slippery. You can see how shiny this surface is. And when it's snowy and wet, this is super slippery. My boots don't have much grip on them. They have some grips, but when it's wet and slippery, you put it on here and they just slip. So I was talking to somebody one time and they said, you need a gripper pad. And so I think I got like a sandpaper one. Well, it didn't work very good. And I'm like, I need the most aggressive pad. So I found this one with these big, sharp dots on it. So even if there's a bunch of snow and it gets packed in there, I put my boot on there and I can direct the snowboard a little bit, enough to get that 10 feet until I go to a stop, and then I can, take my foot off and go to a place where I can have both buckled in. But makes a huge difference. I can also put my toe on here and it grips really good, my toe, and I can push my heel down. So if I'm going toward the ski lift, or if I've got some, I'm pushing off and I get a little bit of speed, I can put my foot right here, my toe right here, and then this is my brake. I can drag my heel on the snow, so you can kind of like slow down a little bit and stop where you need to so you don't crash into somebody else. It just makes it so much better. It doesn't really take a lot of getting used to, and really highly recommend it. It made a big difference. And the last time I went skiing in Mammoth, I didn't fall off the ski lift once. And so I really attribute this to it. It just peels and sticks on there. Great, great thing. Okay, so our task today. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to change out this one. This is an old one, and we'll put a new strap on there. I think I'll leave these straps on here and change those if I ever have a problem with them. So we're going to replace that. We're going to wax, and then we're going to sharpen the edges. Or maybe I should sharpen the edges first and then do the wax after. So we'll do all that, and we'll get going on all that right now. So let's see, how about this? All right, that worked. So let's see. Yeah, that thing looks like it's had a workout, but I don't see any cracks or anything. The hole is oblong. So we'll just hold on to this as kind of a spare, and we'll go ahead and put on a new one of these. Now what I want to do is tighten this up so it doesn't come off, but I still want it to be able to pivot. Okay, and I think that's it. This goes in here, and we're done. All right, let's move on to the next step. The next thing I want to do is sharpen the edges a little bit. So I watched a video, and the guy had a file, and he just kind of went along this and then maybe went along this just a little bit to remove the burr. I think if I just kind of along here, I can feel it kind of cutting. I can feel the file just cutting. Okay, then after we do the sides, you can come back, and I've got it at a little bit at an angle, so I'm not going to contact the plastic or fiberglass or whatever this is. Just to kind of sharpen the bottom edge and take some of that burr off. Wow, that feels pretty sharp. Right on. And then I'll just continue on that and do the other side, and I think we'll be done with that. Wow. So it looks like I have a little bit of schmutz here. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to try some Goo Gone. I don't want to do like acetone or something. I don't want, you know, it melting the plastic or something like that. So it looks like this Goo Gone works pretty good. Then I'll use some Simple Green to just kind of remove any wax and grease and everything like that. Okay, I'm using Zoom wax. Never used it. Don't know if it's any good. It says to make sure it's clean and dry. Remove wax from container and apply from tip to tail. Coat snowboard base evenly. Do not use an iron. And use cork to buff tip to tail. Finish up with a soft cloth. Okay. Cinnamony. Is there like, oh, look at that. It's like a push pop. Okay. Then I'm supposed to buff it on with this cork. The corky thing. Oh, this is neat. I can feel it smoothing. I don't think the wax, when I was initially applying it, was like all that consistent or whatever. It was sort of blotchy. And now this sort of rubs it all in. And I think I'm ready to go. Then it said, last step is finish up with soft towel to polish and remove wax. Something without any Simple Green on it. And I think if we just polish, that really feels waxy. And these feel sharpy. And I got my straps all fixed up. So I think I am ready for the next ski trip. That'll about do it for Scott's Garage for the Snowboard edition. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.